Ethics of the Fathers. All right, very interesting. We finished Mishnah, we're on the second chapter. We finished Mishnah Zion. These are a few sayings of Hillel, what Hillel said. And now we're going to go to one of the pupils, the big pupils of Hillel, who is Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. I just want to look back here 1 second. Yeah, right. Right. Okay. So we had a few sayings of Hillel from before, and then we went with a few of the relatives of Hillel, Rabbi Gamliel, Shimon ben Gamliel, Rabbi Yehuda Anasi. Those are all direct descendants of Hillel. And now we're going to one of the big pupils of Rabbi of Hillel, and that is Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he saved Judaism. He was there when the temple was destroyed, and his pupils snuck him out. And the general that and they ended up destroying the general that was commanded to lay siege to Jerusalem told him, they snuck, his pupils snuck him out, they put him in a coffin, whatever, and they snuck him out of Jerusalem, pretending that they had to bury him outside of Jerusalem. And they opened it up, and there was this general, and he said, "Your Honor, Your Majesty, you're the new emperor." And sure enough, somebody came and said, you're the emperor. The old emperor died, you're the emperor. So he said, "Well, what do you want?" to Rabbi Yochanan. And he said, among other things, there's a Gemara in Gittin. He said, "Give me Yavne v'chachameha." And also the representative, the one who's still alive, who's a direct descendant of King David. Let him be alive, because then there's hope for Judaism. Okay, he asked for other things, but here we have Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. He founded all of Judaism, came after him, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Let's look and see. Let's look at the explanation. You have it? Where do we have it? Let's take this away here. Very good. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Go down to the explanation a little bit down. Scroll. That's it. Shmonim Talmidim, 80 pupils. Hayalu lo Zaken. There were 80 pupils to Hillel. 30 of them were fit that they would rest on them, the Shekhinah, God's presence, like Moshe. 30. Another 30 of them had the spiritual merit that the sun should stand still for them, like Yeshua ben Nun. And 20 of them were the median. 20 of them, they were ordinary. The greatest of all of them was Yonatan ben Uziel. Some people say this means the oldest of all of them was Yonatan ben Uziel. The smallest or the youngest of them was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. And this is who we're talking about here. Omer Alav on Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, they said about Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai that he learned everything. Lo yiniach Mishnah, Gemara, Mishnah, and Mikra, a sentence in the Torah that he didn't totally understand. Mishnah, Gemara, Halachas, Agados, Dikduke Torah, the Dikduke Sofrim. Everything that there was to be learned, he learned. Kalim v'chamorim, the most simple things, and all the Gezerah Shavas, he knew also how to determine times, when to determine all the gematrios, this is different secrets of the Torah. He knew how to understand the angels, Sichos Malchi Ashoris, he knew how to understand the speech of the demons. He knew how to understand what the trees are saying. When the wind blows through the trees, it makes a noise. says that is the trees are giving some sort of information into the world. He knew all of the mushals, what do you call the parables of the washers, the parables of the foxes. I don't know exactly what the parables of the washers are, but the parables of the foxes, it says also the Rebbe Meir knew all sorts of fox parables. The greatest things and the smallest things. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he was the Nasi after the death of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel HaZaken. Just in these days, right before the destruction of the temple. Rabbi Yochanan, we said with Shimon ben Gamliel, that was the second Shimon ben Gamliel. He was there when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. Well, it comes out that he really wasn't right when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. He was like a year or two before. And Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he was the leader of the Sanhedrin when the temple was destroyed. He was in the time of the temple destroyed. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was the leader of the Jews at that time. And about 10 years after the destruction, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he wrote what's called Talmud Yerushalmi. Elishalo Ratza Misader Mishnah, the one who wrote, why did they put him over here? They should have put Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai back there, or earlier. The one who organized the Mishnah, because Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai really came way before Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi. Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, he wrote the Mishnah after the destruction. And Rabbi Yochanan, he was there when the destruction, so he really came before. He should have been listed right after Hillel, or right after Rabbi Yochanan right after Shimon ben Gamliel, the second Shimon ben Gamliel. So why did he put him over here? Because he wanted Rotza Masadar Mishnah Lahavsik Ben Seder Yachas of the Nesiim to Beit Hillel, because he wanted to bring all of the family from Hillel. Therefore, we find in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai received from Hillel v'Shammai. Mashilot Tzuyan, it's a Kol HaChachamim and Yizkarim Ad Ko. Between Hillel and Rabbi Yochanan, it just says there was Rabbi Gamliel, and then it doesn't say one received from the other. It doesn't have that language of received. By Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, it says that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he received from Hillel b'Shammai because he came directly after them. The only thing is he wasn't in the family line. He wasn't the direct descendant from King David. At least that's what it seems. Because he wants to let you know what is the proper order of things. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he was called Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. Even though in the Gemara they don't always call it. Even though that he was not from the family of Beit Hillel, nevertheless he was called Rabban. That's what it says, like it says, Lo Yosur Shevet Yisrael, always at the head of the Jewish people is someone who is a direct descendant from King David. They say the Maharal of Prague, the one that made the Golem, came to life, that he was also a direct descendant of King David. And the first Rebbe of Chabad, he was a direct descendant from him, from the Maharal of Prague. Ubashanim la'achar HaChorban, the years after the Chorban, the head of the greatest yeshiva, which was called Keren B'Yavne, that this became the center of learning of Torah, because Rabbi ben Zakkai, he returned the leadership to one of the direct descendants of Hillel. So in other words, what happened over here? Directly after Hillel, in our Mishnah, is mentioned Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. The second, and the Gemara tells us that it wasn't the first Shimon ben Gamliel. After Hillel died, then there was a Rabbi Shimon, and then there was a Gamliel. His son was Gamliel, and his son was Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. And his grandson was Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, the second one. And in between that whole time came Rabbi Hillel, came Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. But Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he knew that the leader of the Jewish people had to be someone of a direct descendant from King David. And so therefore, he instituted one of the direct descendants, who was Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, the second one. That's what he says, the second one. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Gamliel Asheni. Okay, let's just learn. Well, we finished that. Rabbi Yochanan Ben Zakkai, he saved all the Jewish people. He was great. He understood everything, all the secrets of the Torah. Let's see what his advice to us is. Rabbi Yochanan Ben Zakkai said, Im lamadata Torah harbe al tachzik tova la'atzmach. If you learned a lot of Torah, don't hold yourself high. Don't think that now God owes me a lot. I learned his Torah. Who else does a thing like that? Sitting and learning all the time. God owes me a lot. I deserve a big blessing now from God. Don't say that. Why? Continues the Mishnah. Ki lachach natzarta. That's the reason you were created. That's the reason you were created. Let's look and see what this says. This is the advice that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai gives to us. And then it goes on to say that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 pupils, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Maybe we'll talk about that next time. Let's do the Kahati. Very good. Im lamadata Torah, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai received from Hillel and Shammai, like we said before. Huwa Omer, he used to say, Im lamadata Torah harba, if you learned a lot of Torah, al tachzik tov la'atzmecha, don't hold a lot of merit to yourself. Ki ilu asita davar she'eno mechoyavo, as though I did something that wasn't demanded of me. I'm doing God a big favor. I learned a lot of his Torah. Don't say so. Ki lakach nitzarta. That's the reason you were created. U'mechuya vata. You are obligated to learn. Like it says, Lo yamish mesefer Torah zemipicha. In the book of Yehoshua, the Torah should not move from your mouth. Ve'yigita b'hem yom v'layla, and you should talk about it, think about it, day and night. That's an obligation. God is creating us all the time. Umipi u mi sheporea chovo eino machzikim lo tova al kach. If I owe someone $1,000 and I give him back the money, I don't say to the person, excuse me, I just paid you back. The person said, okay, say thank you. I did you a big favor. Why should I say thank you? I loaned you the money. If anybody should say thank you, it's you. It's just, you're not supposed to say thank you. If a Jew loans your money, you're not supposed to say thank you because it's like giving him interest. But technically, you should say thank you. A person loans you money, you should say thank you. But if somebody pays me back, I loaned him money, you should say thank you. Now he pays me back, I should say thank you to him. That's ridiculous. Well, that's exactly what happens. God creates us. He gives us everything. We're just paying him back a little bit by learning the Torah. And now God owes us something. Doesn't make any sense. That's why you were created. A person is obligated to learn Torah. Like it says, the Torah should not move from your mouth. Someone that pays back a debt doesn't deserve to be thanked. That's one explanation. Yeshiva Ohr Tmimim, some people say this is the beginning. Yeshiva Ohr Tmimim, yes. The beginning of the line, V'yesh. Ki lekach natzarta, that's what you were created for. L'shem kach yatzata la'avir olam. That's the reason God brought you into the world. Kamosh katuv, like it says, Vayir vergi avayi boker yom hashishi, like it says it was in the evening and it was the morning, the 6th day. All the other days of creation, they don't say the 2nd day, the 3rd day. It says Vayir vayi boker yom sheni, yom shlishi. Why does it say in the 6th day? Why does it say hashishi? The rabbis say, Malamed, Shehitna Kodesh Baruch Hu and Maisa Bereshis, that God made a condition with the whole creation. She'im Ein Yisrael, that if the Jewish people do not receive the Torah, when do they receive the Torah? On Hashishi, on the 6th day of Sivan. Yachzer Olam L'Tohu Babo, God said, I'm going to wipe the whole thing out and I'll start over again. It'll be as though the world was never created. I'll wipe out time. I'll wipe out everything. Nimsa, so it comes out, Sechova Gadola Mutelas Al Kol Adam. Everybody has a big debt to pay to God. a big debt to pay to God that we're existing. God doesn't have to. And therefore, we should learn the Torah because we see the whole world depends on the Torah. For lo batova huasa. I'm not learning Torah. That's not that I'm doing God a big favor. I'm repaying him back a debt. In Midrash Shmuel, there's a book called Midrash Shmuel. It's on Pirkei Avos. He explains, Im lamadta Torah harbe al tachzik tov la'atzmecha. If you learned a lot of Torah, don't hold any good to yourself. What does it mean? Don't hold good to yourself alone. Lo tomar, a person should not say, Dai li shalamarti latzmi. It's good enough that I learned Torah. I don't have to teach others. Ki lakach natzarta, because the Mishnah says, no, you do have to teach others because that's why you were created. You were created to learn Torah in order to teach it. The Kain Omru, a lomed Torah, eno melamda, a person that learns Torah and does not teach others. Lama melamda, doma lehadas shebamidbar. It's like a little tree, hyssop tree in the desert. She'ein adam ne'anen mimenu, that no one can smell the fragrant smell from this hyssop. It's very fragrant smell. Some people use it Motzi Shabbos for spices. So in other words, don't hold good just to yourself. Don't hold it to yourself. It's good. Don't hold it to yourself. All right, we'll just read this and then we'll do a little bit of the Basar v'Chalav. Chamisha Talmidim hayu lo Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 pupils. Elohein, these are the 5 pupils. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, Rabbi Yoshua ben Hanania, Rabbi Yossi Cohen, Rabbi Shimon ben Nasanel. How many do we have so far? How many pupils did he have? 5. We have Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, Rabbi Yossi Cohen, Rabbi Shimon ben Nasanel, and Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch. So we have 2 Rabbi Eliezers, Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus and Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch. 5 amazing pupils. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai used to praise them. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hyrcanus, he is like a boer sud, boyer sud, like a pit that has tar around it. She'eno ma betip, it doesn't lose a drop. Whatever he learns, he retains. What about Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania? Rabbi Yeshua, you say, Ashrei Yoladato, happy is the one who gave birth to him. What type of a praise is that? We'll see. Rabbi Yossi Cohen, he says he's a Chassid. Rabbi Shimon ben Nasanel, he fears sin. And Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch, he said he's a Mayan Amitkaber. He is like a wellspring that keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. We'll explain this in detail, God willing, on Sunday. Now let's learn a little bit of Basar v'Chalav. I'm sorry that there was a bit of confusion yesterday, but we're getting it all straight now. Chapter 92. We'll learn for 10 minutes. Chapter 92, maybe 15.